just about to turn the camera on and the phone rings, so I figured, oh great, more cold calls or whatever. Turns out it was a gal with Bolton Tools, offering me an app for my smartphone to do a bunch of different things. And problem is I don't own a smartphone, so just kind of some info here. I've been buying these sets on Amazon. Irwin, it's the bottom taper and plug tap or whatever. My wife uses the cart. You just throw it in the cart. I use a wish list. But anytime I find something that I kind of would like to have, I'll throw it on the wish list, and then you keep checking it every day, and all of a sudden there's a price drop. And every time I turn around, I had about 8 of these things on my wish list. I have one left now. So when they drop them, they're going between $10 and $12 for the set. So that winds up being $3 or $4 a tap. And they're nice taps. This was the 8mm by 1 pitch that I didn't have. Figured, I'll get it. Yeah, taper, plug, and bottom tap. So that's just a heads up on price dropping and things that Amazon does. The other one is that end mill that Darren, my machinist friend, gave me to try on aluminum, 3 flute, cobalt. I've been using that thing left and right. The finish is ridiculous that I'm getting on aluminum, and I'll only use it on aluminum. I finally said, I advertised Travers Tool on the website, the link to them. I went on Travers and spent $100 and just get all of the end mills. Well, not all of them, but I got like a 1/4, 3/8, another 1/2 inch. Because I'd use that the most, and I forgot what was the bigger one that I got. This was the more expensive. Hello, where are you? Duh. Oh, there it is. 5/8, that's right. I wanted to go above a 1/2 inch a little bit more. So, fantastic end mills. I guess the old one, the old 1/2 inch, I'll probably try on steel. See what happens. I mean, it's cobalt. It should hang in there. So that's a heads up on that. Not this video, I'm going to show something else, but I think I showed making a flywheel. Either that, I don't know, but I like the flywheel a lot. It was so much fun. Actually, it was 3 days to make, but I liked it so much that I had another chunk of brass that was given to me with the new lathe, so I decided to make a little guy. And thinking about it, and like I said, this whole project is I've just evolved and learned and came up with different techniques. So I went from 3 days to 4 hours. So I'll be showing the making of this guy here, not this Friday, or today should be, I'm shooting it on Monday. So what you're going to see that now is going to be on Friday. The following Friday will be this, so that'll be 2 weeks out, and then 3 weeks I should have the engine completed and hopefully running and show that. All I've got is the 2 side plates to hold the flywheel, and then the bottom, and that's it. So Wednesday I'll be in the area to pick up the material for that. This video, in making this, it never fails. A lot of things I'm making, I cannot get in there to measure depth, or there's a hole or something that I need to figure out approximately how deep it is. So I started on the quest, let me make something small that I can get a depth reading with in the mill or wherever. And I went on Google and there was nothing. Everybody's got all the big stuff, and you've seen I've got the big official depth gauge that you can't never get in there. I don't even think you can get it in there when I'm all the way up, but I'm not up yet. But I did find one picture and it looked cool. So I made the thing and it came out really nice. So here's the video on making it. First things first, let's go to the scrap drawer and see if there's anything left that's usable. The engine project has sucked up just about every little piece of anything. Got a rod. Now you just need a base. Perfect. There we go. So onward and upward. Next up, the highest parallels I've got. I could have used anyone, but I grabbed the tall one, so I don't have to keep going in the drawer to change things. Clamp it in there, hold it down. Don't need to hammer it in place. Get the parallels out of there, because I'm going to be drilling and I don't want to accidentally discover they moved and I'm drilled into them. So in goes the edge finder. We got to find dead center from front to back on this thing here. Here we go. Just showing it for the heck of it. There's the front, zero the DRO out, find the back, and wait for it to snap. Alright, take a calculator, figure out what this divide by 2, find center, and we're on center. Next up, put the drill bit in there. And all I've used is these stubby drill bits. Ever since my wife got them for me, I have used them non-stop, let me tell you. Alright, tighten it down, and I'm just going to pick a spot at random that looks good. Come down. Move it over, yeah, okay, that looks like that's a good spot. Drill it. And I found that higher speeds, I used to go pretty slow with RPM here, but I'm discovering that the higher RPM seem to do a lot better job. I'm surprised I'm not using any oil here, but whatever. Gotta go all the way through. Yeah, put the hand up there because the chips are going to come flying at me. Keep backing out, clear out the chips from the tip of the drill bit. Come on over someplace else random, something that kind of looks good, like the right width of this thing, and drill the second hole. I kind of blew it on this guy because I forgot to set the DROs, so when I come back with the end mill to do the final boring, so to speak, of the hole, I'll know exactly where I am. Yeah, here's the 1/4 inch end mill, 2 flute. It's the longest one I've got that can do aluminum. And yeah, now I'm coating it. This is pure soluble oil I'm using, and I'm just right now, since I drilled the hole, I know I'm on center. But to come over and do the other hole, I just have to flat out eyeball it and come down. So there it is, nice clean 1/4 inch hole. These things are dangerous because they're razor sharp, but get it out of the way. Put some light on it here so that I can eyeball where the other hole is. And I think that probably look good. Yeah, turn it sideways. Alright, so I guess that's done. Next up, chamfer, and this little guy I got from a machinist that was retiring, clearing things out. I use it all the time. I don't know what it is about it. It doesn't dig in, but it does a great job. And I love this bandsaw. I have used this thing so much on everything, saved me so much time and achy muscles. So we got to cut it off. Cut it off a little bit away from center, a little bit longer than I need, because then I'll come back in the middle and clean it up. So I got a pencil line on there, eyeball it, turn it on. Number 4 I figured out was the RPM, correct RPM for cutting aluminum. Goes right through it, so nice and fast. Alright, halfway done. The other side. I always try to slow way down at the end of the cut and hang on to it, which is kind of dangerous, but I'm careful. And there it is. Stick it back in the vise. We're going to clean it up now, both sides. And this is the end mill that I talked about in the intro that I absolutely love from Traverse Tool. Gives me beautiful finishes. 3 flute. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit longer though. So there's quite a few times I'm gonna max it out, so I gotta use something else. But I guess, I don't know, I think they were designed primarily for CNC, where you can cut and then you come down a little, cut more, and come down and cut. But I probably could do the same thing. Actually, I should try that. Bring it in and look for dust. Boom, contact. And just clean both of these pieces off on both sides. Coming in about 10 thousandths right now at a time. And then final cuts, I usually go 1 or 2 thousandths, and it just gives a beautiful finish. This is actually the older one. This is the one that Darren gave me. I haven't pulled out the brand new ones yet to use at all. You can even see the chips are completely different coming off of this over a Grizzly or any other end mill. Cleaned up. Time to stick it on in and cut just the top two pieces, the top one side of the top and the other side of the top. Take them back until it just looks right. And here we go. The end mill, the speed knob is turned halfway. It's just pointing straight up. Seems to work great with this end mill. And that's that. So what are we going to do next? Just clean it up and check it out, I guess. Yeah, that's right. Those chip brushes last forever over the old nylons when I very first started a couple of years ago. That brush was probably close to a year old and it still looks good. Oh yeah, I forgot to set the DRO again, so I'm trying to figure out from the edge of the vise to touch the part where it is. I've set the DRO for 0 so I know my depth that I'm going to cut the other side until it hits 0. Then I know both sides are the same. So you turn it around, put the caliper back, and I set the same angle. So it's cut. Now let's just check it out. And ta-da, it looks pretty good. Not too bad. Time to fly cut all surfaces. You get it all nice and square and cleaned up. Found that I get a little bit better finishes with lower RPM. So I go up to halfway and then I back it down just slightly. Gives me a mirror finish. It's just beautiful. And there's all the sides cleaned up. Not too bad. Decided to chamfer pretty heavy, just the front and the back. Never did a 60 degree before. I've always done 45, so this is kind of an experiment here. Grizzly 60 degree end mill does a pretty good job. You come in until it's dust. I believe I went in 20 thousandths on this. Again, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. Just keep going until it looks good to my eyeball. Conventional milling, I always do climb milling for the final cut because it gives you, without a doubt, the best finish possible. And final cuts too are always 1 or 2 thousandths. You can kind of see there is not much light, but or a bad angle, but it's getting pretty deep and it's starting to look pretty good. I like it. So I'll probably do 60 degrees a little bit more often. and then all the other edges just slightly touch them just to break the sharp edge. And it looks like it's the right thickness too, so I don't need to take it down anymore as far as width. Let's take it over to the Scotch-Brite and just kind of clean up all sides of it. Give it kind of a satin look, which I like. That's a homemade little guy. Just grab an arbor Scotch-Brite, punch a hole, make it round with the scissors. I got a junk pair of scissors that I use on it. And it works. It lasts for quite a while, actually. I've got the three, the white, purple, and the brown. Brown's the heavy-duty one. Drill the center hole for the rod to go through. Turns out the rod was just a fraction under an 1/8 inch. So again, here's the stubby drill bit set. And applying it, the soluble oil definitely makes a difference in drilling. It goes faster, and you get cleaner holes, and chip evacuation's much better. Because I got to go down, you can tell, a long ways with this drill bit. And bagging it out, keep clearing the chips, clear the chips. For a second I thought I was going to bottom out and had to get a longer drill bit, but it just made it. And I decided, what the heck, let me use the spotting drill. Just kind of chamfer the opening on the top and leave the bottom alone. And there it is. Beautiful. Especially with a stainless steel rod. It's so smooth feeling. Time to drill and tap now for the thumb screw, or whatever. I'm going to make a screw with a knob or whatever on it. So use the edge finder. Found all perfect center. Just drill it out, and there's more soluble oil. Works great, why not? Tap magic. 832 is what I figured. I was looking at 1032, and it seemed like that was just too big for this thing. And my super duper do-it-yourself tap holder, it comes down in the middle. Crescent wrench comes out again, and just go at it. And there it is. Just using a screw right now to see how it works before making a knob. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And the rod, I tried it with a hacksaw. I don't know what this is. This is above and beyond Rockwell hardness, or whatever you want to call it. This is the only way I could cut this thing. Hacksaw wasn't even scraping it. And here we are. Let's test it out. So get the calipers, because this is one of the things where I needed this to do to get the depth here on it. So take a measurement. Now with this guy, I've got two flat surfaces, so I can get pretty accurate. 2065 and a half, 0.206 and a half thou. .206 and a half thou. Not bad, huh? For repeatability. Let's see what this thing does. Push it down, try to lock it. Didn't want to really hang on. I didn't have enough of force here, but it was hanging in there. Let's see what it's measured. Because again, this thing is only for just approximate. I just need to get pretty close. And I could be angling it, so 204 and a half. So it's close enough. Close enough for what I want to do. And there's the final product. Decided to make a thumb screw for it out of brass. Looks like it's got a thyroid problem, but it really easy to turn, easy to really lock down so I don't move or fudge things. But if you guys like the way it looks or whatever, let me know, and I'll post prints on it, all the dimensions. So goes in my tool drawer.